Do you recognize that sound? Yes, it's the sound of people of all ages mingling with each other. Today, we talk to a gerontologist about the role of travel in social experiences. Thank you for joining us on the Ageless Traveler, dedicated to making lifelong travel easy so you never stop traveling. I'm your host, Adriane Berg, excited to discuss the hottest topic in aging and travel today, living longer by making new friends of all ages. If you've ever been on a trip and lost the contacts you made, or if you tend to hang out with folks only of your own age, our Ageless Traveler resident gerontologist is here to tell you how and why you can fight ageism, make new friends, and have a great time with folks across all generations. Meet Sharon Rose, a social gerontologist on our Ageless Traveler Advisory Board, available to answer your personal questions on aging. Now sit back, relax. All the resources we discuss are on our show notes at agelesstraveler.com. And while you're there, click the free gifts button and join our Facebook salon and receive our exclusive fun goodies. Now, I know everybody listening is very excited that part of the Ageless Traveler tribe and experts, so to speak, is a gerontologist. I'm not 100% sure that everybody knows what a gerontologist is to get excited about. So, Sharon, what's a gerontologist?
In short, a gerontologist is someone who is in the studying of the field of aging from the time you're born until wherever it is you go next. I chose the age group of 50 and over, which Adriane and I are doing a lot of work, and I focus on intergenerational communities and companies.
So a gerontologist is not just about old people. It's about the whole age continuum, and then you're looking at us from that perspective. But you're not just a gerontologist. You are a social gerontologist. Explain that to us.
I decided to focus on social gerontology because it's the behavioral aspect of gerontology. There's also the academic piece where the studies are done and research and you come out with data. I love it, but I'd rather hire someone else to do that because they love the data, whether it's quantitative or qualitative. Quantitative are all numbers, and qualitative is in-person interviews. Social gerontology appealed to me because, and I'm going to read this right from one of the quotes I have that'll be going on my website. Social gerontology is seen as a science-based but application-oriented subdiscipline of gerontology. It focuses particularly on social relationships in old age, social participation of elderly and old people, and the protection of their individual needs. I'm going to add to that social gerontology is also the ability, as we know it today, because we have the ability to live over 100, is to find what I call the 3 Ps: purpose, productivity, and positivity in life. And I focus on that because the 50 and over generation is now part of the ability to do anything they want, anywhere they want, at any time, and pull up the talents that they have that they haven't used yet or would like to indulge and grow more. They have the benefit of decades of experience and relationships, and they can go for whatever they would like to do. And it's a very exciting time. I know, Adriane, you and I talk about this often.
All the time.
It's all the time. And it's so exciting.
It's very exciting. But, one of the things you said was relationships. Yes. And coming down to travel creates relationships between people that really would not meet each other. But I want to focus for a moment on the intergenerational aspect of that relationship. You're very focused on the relationships between the younger generations and the older generations. What do you think the impact is when a lot of younger people see a lot of older people active and traveling? What's the impact on their future age?
Well, there are endless things I could talk about that happen for various age groups together or one-on-one. My feeling about intergenerational, my fascination with it, is that as you pose the question, how do younger generations look at the older generations? And you and I have talked about this with the Silver Marketing Association panel, with the Silver Marketing Association with Debbie Marshall. The ability of the younger generation to see the older generation without it being the embedded ageism is very important for the newer generations to understand that being old is not being frail. being old is not being unable to use technology and so on. So it's really important for the younger generations to interact with the older generations just for that alone. Another piece of it which I identify in my talks is that what's very important in the relationship building is, if it's possible, to have the grandkids have a direct line to the grandparents, meaning the adult child of the grandparent is not in the so-called room with them, so that they develop their own relationship with that, any of that other dimension of the multi-generational piece.
Now, one of our really outstanding intergenerational trips is our Portugal trip. We're going to Portugal and the Azores. We're doing that in May of 2024. And take a listen. Come with us to Portugal, May 2024. You know, my mouth is watering as I read the Colette brochure for our May 11th to 24th trip to Portugal and the Azores. I can't wait to revisit Lisbon with you and show you its hidden museums, sip red wine, munch olives, and listen to the fado music. You know, that's a UNESCO heritage experience, but we're also going to bathe in the beauty of the Azores, peer down volcanic craters, stroll in the Terra Nostra Botanic Park. Now, come travel with us, and if you've got a group of 10 or more, or you're a nonprofit organization, discover the benefits of our group programs at Ageless Traveler, featured trips, and group trips. Don't forget, this is the kind of travel that will allow you to never stop traveling. And now we're back with Sharon, our resident gerontologist. And we're going to talk about something very serious, and that is ageism and how it can even steep into travel, but how travel can also quash or fight ageism.
I think it has to do with the embeddedness of ageism. We have these ideas, these notions of what an old person is. They're frail, they don't hear well enough, they don't see well enough, they need your help, rather than giving you something that you'd like to know about them and how you can work together.
Yeah, so they become the other. But when we travel together, and this happened to me many times when I was younger with older people, now that I'm older with younger people, we really, all these differences seem to disappear, and all we talk about is the experience that we're having. So let me ask you a personal question. As an experience in travel, what's been your favorite either intergenerational trip with people of different ages that aren't family members, or multi-generational trips with people of different ages who are in your family? What's been your favorite?
Within my family, one of my favorites is the 10 years or so that my husband and daughter and I spent in Del Mar, which is part of San Diego. We had lived in Las Vegas, and it was way too hot in the summers there, so we would escape to Del Mar for the summer. And all of us love being in California. And so we had our outdoor life with 70 degrees, and we could go up and down landscapes and to the barn for horse riding, or the races for horse riding, go to the beach. It was endless.
You know, one of the things that the Ageless Traveler is all about is bringing people together. That's why I say it's not your usual travel show. It's just a guide about different places, although we do that too. Let's hear a little bit more about what the Ageless Traveler is really all about. I want to tell you a little bit about the purpose and the origin of the Ageless Traveler. It's a spin-off of my award-winning podcast, Generation Bold, the fountain of truth about aging. My listeners are people who, like you and myself, are at a point in our lives when we want new excitement, new ways to give back to the world, whether we're working or we're retired. I've marshaled the best resources and people to help us do both. Ageless Traveler is not just a podcast or a blog or a Facebook salon. We're a movement for lasting relationship, ways to contribute throughout our lives, and preparedness for the fabulous decades ahead together through world travel. We can make a lasting impact as a community of active travelers and have the time of our lives. People visit Ageless Traveler for many reasons. Join our Facebook salon, get new travel buddies, find out the safest and the best way to travel, get discounts, and read more about the salon by clicking the free gifts button on the website menu. and become one of our Ageless ambassadors so you know exactly how you can contribute and how it contributes back to you. Never stop traveling. And now back to Sharon Rose. You know, she is one of these champions of intergenerationalism. And yet, I don't know if she went on to so many intergenerational trips. Now, did you go on trips that were intergenerational? Because those are rare. And that's where people of different generations do meet each other and maybe become lasting friends.
Not so much. I would go with friends on trips to Europe or upstate or to other parts of the country, but not so much as a group tour. I was in the hotel industry, so I had way too many people in my life all the time.
You know, one of the interesting things that we're doing here in Ageless Traveler is we are prepping you to be healthy enough to go on tours that younger people usually take. I just went to Southeast Asia with much younger people because I was able to do what they do. And that was one of my first, to be 110 countries. It was one of the first times that I went to a truly intergenerational tour because I hooked on to younger people's tours. So, you know, we talk about health. And I'd like to introduce you to a trip that is going to require folks to walk. And that will be in March with the folks over at Free Walkers. Walking is very important. One of the things we do is we help people train better for any trip they might be taking with us or without us. Let's hear about that March trip. The geroscientists I hang out with tell me that walking is the number one activity for longevity. That's why I want you to know about a nonprofit organization, Free Walkers. Walk with a friendly, dynamic group of all ages in person in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or virtually from anywhere worldwide. Join us in the spring in Maryland for a 2-day, 12-mile-a-day friendship walk. And if you need heartfelt motivation to walk, get a copy of Risa Olinsky's book. She's on our advisory board. It's called Why Walk? And speak with her for half an hour in person, complimentary too for our salon members. Find all the information at agelesstraveler.com at Products and Services. And now we're back with actually another serious issue, and that is isolation. Now, you know, you are our resident gerontologist. And I know that one of the most difficult things as we get older is isolation. In fact, the Surgeon General said it's like smoking now. It actually cuts your longevity. How do you see travel as a lifelong isolation fighter?
Travel has been one of my most exciting parts of life because rather than seeing it as we grew up in a textbook and an encyclopedia, on a postcard and a magazine, which was linear or two-dimensional, if it was on TV or video. When you were in that moment, in that place for yourself, I remember when I went to Greece, it was my first trip to Europe, and I sat on the steps of whatever historical place it was, thinking to myself, this is comical, that these marble stairs have not chipped. They've been a little worn. I go home. I didn't want to put a cup of coffee on top of my marble. Right.
Right. How do they do it?
Right.
Right. At the Acropolis. What's going on here?
Right. Exactly. So I every time I take a trip, every time I grew up in New York, Broadway, go to the Opera House, take classes wherever you are in theater, to take classes with those who are celebrities, and you're learning from them with workshops and master classes. You go to another country, you cherry pick. When I went to England, I wanted to go to the government to see how that's different than what we have. Sure. The Parliament is so different. We have to do that on the trip.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about travel and isolation is it both helps you be alone better, and nobody talks about that a lot. It helps you because you become a curious, interested person in life. You just mentioned London. Is that great line, when a man is tired of London, he's tired of life. And it also because the Ageless Traveler will bond people together and have a community of people that can meet afterwards and forever after their trips and not lose each other. It actually helps you meet new people. I will say, shameless plug, if you want to meet new people, if you have lost or have fewer travel companions, if you just want to talk about your travel experiences, please join our Facebook salon. It's a salon because we really talk together, and you can do that. Everything is free of charge. Just go to agelesstraveler.com and you'll see join the salon. Click it and you are there. Now, before we leave, I'm going to ask you this question. You are an ageless traveler. You were an ageless traveler. You will be one as well. So you know who we're talking to. If you could say anything to them from your heart, what would you say?
Go, go, go.
Ha! Yeah. There's no reason not to.
But I also say, being older, not older, but is that you need to plan and plan well and plan with the right people and have someone guide you, like the Ageless Traveler, guide you into where you need to be and how you need to get there, all the assistance you need because you're a little bit older, your meds, your how many miles you can possibly walk in one's shoes and bring extra, whatever it is. There's so many important parts that we need to be educated about. There's no textbook on it. You need the Ageless Traveler to help you do that.
Well, we're so thrilled that you are part of it. I cannot imagine doing this without our resident gerontologist. So thank you so much, Sharon. And of course, we'll be talking again. And you will be meeting people face to face at our different weekly salons and our videos and answering their questions.
Thank you for bringing me in.
It's that time again. We've come to the end of our discussion. Thank you for listening, and see the show notes on agelesstraveler.com for the resources we mentioned on the show. Click the free gift button to join our Facebook salon and receive the goodies that will make lifelong travel easy. Now, salon members can ask Sharon and all of our other experts and guests questions to make your travels perfect. And if family travel is in your future, you'll love our next episode when we discuss grandparent travel with an inspiring author and a grandma who's traveled the world with her grandchildren. This is Adriane Berg for the Ageless Traveler, here to make sure that you never stop traveling.